Hello everyone, welcome to the Aseem Chhabra show. My name is Aseem Chhabra, I'm the host of the show. I'm a freelance journalist in New York City and I'm also on the board of the South Asian Journalists Association, SAJA. Today we have a guest visiting, actually an out-of-towner. Mesma Belsar is a Bharatnatyam dancer she lives in Boston, and we are very fortunate to have her in the studio. She actually happened to be in New York City over the weekend where she performed at an amazing event held at Asia Society, Engendered, which is a transgender organization that deals with sexuality and human rights, and had a fashion event called Fashion Conscious, and Mesma performed there, her Bharatnatyam performance. Mesma, welcome to the show, first of all, and your performance was absolutely wonderful, really.
Thank you, Aseem. Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about Bharatnatyam. I mean, we'll talk about the show itself, but your performance this weekend. But your training in Bharatnatyam, I'm presuming it was in India.
Correct. Yes, I was born and raised in India. And when I was 10, I insisted that I wanted to learn Bharatanatyam. And after a little bit of struggle, I was given the permission to go for classes. And ever since then, started a really long, interesting, arduous, and very rewarding journey into the world of dance. Training was definitely a very crucial part of it. My first guru, Sri Shankar Hombal, came from Kalakshetra. And it was a very old school way of teaching. We had to learn music. We had to come to class every day for 3 hours. We had to continue dancing without break. So it was a kind of almost a draconian, as you would say now, way of teaching and learning. But I do understand the importance of it now in hindsight, because it laid such a strong foundation for me as a dancer and also as a person growing in a small town and opening my world to this wonderful and rich experience of dancing. And then when I went to New Delhi for my undergraduate studies, I started learning in the Tanjavur Bani from Padma Shri Geeta Chandran. And under her, I studied for almost 8 years.
Wow.
And there I started delving into the subtle nuances of the dance form. I understood how music and body are one and the same, how dance is music in motion, and what is the importance of poetry, how other fields of art such as painting or sculpture, architecture are connected with dance. How do you move? How do you treat the space? What is the relationship of history with us in time, and how are we creating history as we dance today? So it was a very holistic education, I would say. It was more than just training, because music, dance, poetry, living with the teacher, spending hours on end in her house, sitting through her rehearsals, observing the musicians, how she conducts, how she thinks, how it's different every time. So all of that came together very beautifully in my experience as a student. And I consider myself very fortunate to have had that, that background.